got to behave today, Will. Got some big boys in here.
We got muscle in the room.
Yeah, well, kid, take care of you if you don't ask the right
walk around
questions.
with these guys the rest of the day and just talk trash to people. See if somebody comes at us.
They might hit you. So you can't be mean to these Aggies like that.
I know they could. Welcome to the Wednesday?
I don't know what day
is
it
that
is.
right? No, it's Friday.
T-minus what, 2? T-minus 2?
We do this show Wednesdays and Fridays, so if this show starts, it's one of the two. I've got a 50-50 shot, but it is Friday. Studio 12 from the south end zone of Kyle Field. Will Johnson and Matt Simon with you, and we are joined by a couple of our offensive linemen getting ready to start August camp on Monday. Report day is Sunday. Your first practice, guys, will be Monday. We've got center Mike Matthews with us and offensive tackle Germain Ifedi. So, I mean, is this just a lot of calm before the storm feeling, guys? I mean, you've been through the August camps before. I mean, the heat probably isn't that big a deal to you by now. But is this just relaxing until it all hits and comes rushing at you on Sunday evening?
Yeah, I mean, me and Mike going into our fourth ones together, and you know, we talked about it. We said we're just gonna take it, you know, about getting better every day. You know, we're not worried about it being hot and it being a lot of days, a lot of practices. We're just taking it one day at a time and trying to get better every day. Because we know we're used to this. We're veterans, so we're not gonna panic about camp coming up. We're gonna take it like veterans and, you know, try to bring guys along that are, you know, thinking about camp that way.
But Mike, it's got to be. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see it now.
Yeah.
You got that game on September the 5th down there. So it's got to be a little bit of a different mindset in a way than going into spring or going through summer workouts.
Right, and especially, you know, being out so long. You know, it's funny. You always talk about, man, everyone asks you, are you excited for the season? And, you know, it being my last year here at Texas A&M. And it feels different this year. I've always been excited, but there's something different right now. I'm extremely excited to get started up. There's always that looming kind of like, fall camp, you're about to go through the grind. But honestly, I'm kind of looking past that right now, just excited to get started up.
Yeah, it is. I would say different because you have that big opener against probably a ranked team in Arizona State. But in your careers here, I mean, you've opened with Florida and games like that. You opened with a Rice team that actually won 10 games that same year. So you guys have played good teams in openers, South Carolina, obviously, last year. So you're used to this. But does that create a nice sense of urgency for the entire team as you get things rolling this month?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, everybody's excited to get out there. Everybody's excited to get back on the field, and you know, it's just something about getting that much closer. You know, September 5th is looking closer and closer as you know as we're already in August. We're already almost a couple weeks in August, so. Guys are excited. He's starting to get the feel around here. You know, the grass is being laid. Guys, fields getting painted. You know, it's in the air again for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the big things about August camp is always the competitions that go on for positions. There'll be plenty on defense. The headliner on offense is what happens at quarterback. It always is. But inside of you, Germain, just on the outside of you, Mike, guard play is going to be huge. And there's candidates. That's a big question. Who will play both guard spots? There's Joseph Cheek. There's Jeremiah Stuckey. Keaton Sutherland's a newcomer. And Coda Martin is a viable option there. What kind of preview can both of you give us as far as that competition at guard play this August?
Yeah,
I see you both looking at each other.
we got a lot of talent at the guard position. There's a lot of guys out here that are, you know, they're putting the work in. They've been putting work in this whole off season, this summer, getting stronger. They know that, you know, they have an opportunity to start and they got a chance to, you know, take it over. So we got, like you said, we got Joe, Stuckey, we got Coda, we got Keaton, and we got London. So Germain Ifedi.
Yeah.
So those are all
Right. Yeah.
those are all good guys for us. They're all really big guys that, you know, that can handle their own in the inside. Big heavy guys you don't have to worry about. So you know, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be fun to watch that competition.
Yeah, you guys call Germain Ifedi London?
Yeah,
he
London.
hails from England originally.
Everyone's got a nickname on the team. Yeah.
I mean, like Mike said, you know, we're deep at guard. We have options, and we have options up and down the offensive line of what these guys can do. You know, they've worked hard this summer. They've all bought into the new scheme. You know, the guards have their hand in the ground. They're ready to go forward and they're ready to win. So, you know, I don't think you go wrong with any of those guys. You know, Joe who probably has the most experience out of all of them, but they're all ready to play and they all had good springs and they're ready if their name is called, their number is called.
Germain Ifedi and Mike Matthews with us here on the Friday edition of Studio 12, and both you guys were part of the representative corps at Media Days a couple weeks ago in Birmingham. Outside of the barbecue, of course, I'm sure that was the highlight of the trip for you guys. G.I., what was your highlight of that whole experience there? Now that it's a couple weeks past.
Just being able to take it all in. It was my first time doing something like that, so I got to put on a nice suit and walk around and just talk about football. Whole days talking about football, talking about the sport I love, and it was a great experience. Fantastic. I don't see why anybody would ever hate doing anything like that, because it's just one of those experiences you want for a lifetime.
What about you, Mike? Same kind of deal?
Yeah, just having that opportunity to go out and talk about the game that you love to play. It wasn't bad taking the plane over there, the private jet, and then getting the suit out of it was pretty cool. But, yeah, just kind of being able to go out there and spend some time with my boys, G.I., and just kind of like I said, talk about something that I genuinely enjoy talking about, football.
And there's always an odd question thrown to somebody in there. I don't know if you guys got anything too off the wall, did you?
Did you get anything too weird?
Nah.
The
Media Days are known for stuff.
Yeah, I heard a few things about someone, but the weirdest thing we got asked was like who would you want to win if you couldn't win? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't care who wins if I don't win.
When does that ever pop in?
Yeah,
like, if I don't win, I don't want anybody to win.
Exactly.
Who would you want to win the SEC outside your school?
Nobody. If it ain't us, nobody.
Exactly.
This year, it wasn't so much the questions as it was, I think, Steve Spurrier's comments.
Right.
That took all the
took
all the vibe away from
when
it.
you go up with South Carolina, like when you're paired with South Carolina, which has happened several times for A&M so far, that always makes for an entertaining day. That's for sure.
Very entertaining.
Speaking of South Carolina, we just unveiled the new uniform that you guys will wear on Halloween when the Gamecocks come to town. Have you checked them out, and what's your take on them?
Oh yeah, I looked at them, and I mean they're great. I love them. I love the all black for the Halloween. The helmet's pretty sick. So I really like them, and hopefully we prove to them that we should wear them more, because we play really well in them on Halloween.
I want somebody to tweet a picture of him to Steve Spurrier and just see what he tweeted. Well, I guess I'm trying to scare
Is he
us.
on Twitter? Is he on Twitter?
He did. I think he just
is?
got on Twitter this summer. I think it's at the old ball coach or something. Of course.
What about that, like wearing the uniforms? I know I really like the way Coach Sumlin does this. He doesn't do it 5 or 6 times a year. He basically one game and try something. We've been fortunate. We've seen you guys react. We've seen teams react when they don't know they're coming or when they do know they're coming. Just talk about how fun it is for y'all to get to wear something like that.
Yeah, it's just kind of that like extra excitement. You're already excited to go play ball in front of a big stage. You're really excited. But when you walk in there and you see some really cool new uniform, you just get that much more pumped up, that much more excited to go out there. And you know that you go out there looking good, and it's not the ordinary thing. You're starting up something new, so it's really exciting. It just kind of brings the energy up of the whole team.
I just remember that Mississippi State 2012 because you guys didn't know it was coming, and you walk in and the place went nuts. And then I remember Mississippi State was doing their all white at home, and then I'll just never forget y'all running out on the field, and I could see some of those Mississippi State players looking, going, "Oh man,
Why are we wearing that?" Well, we've got Mike Matthews and Germain Ifedi with us on this Friday edition of Studio 12 from the south end zone of Kyle Field. Summer. There's a lot going on specifically with you guys because you had to attend SEC Media Days. We know about Larry Jackson's off-season program. I don't think we need much more explanation of what goes on there. But 7-on-7 is something I was always interested to kind of figure out what happens there, especially with you guys, because it seems like such a skill position thing. But 7-on-7 is something the team does without coaches watching. You guys do it on your own. You run it on your own. And how involved is an offensive line with that type of drill when it's done in the summer?
Yeah. I mean, we won't be running around out there with the skill guys, but we'll go off to the side where where we have our area, and we'll work on the small things, the hands, moving your feet, all those things you don't need pads and to be hitting people to work on. Then once the skill guys and the quarterbacks are done with 7-on-7, we'll go do some 11-on-11 drills, and that's even more of an opportunity to work on the small things. You don't have a helmet, you can't use bad technique. So that's just a time for us to really hone in on our craft.
GI, is that a time of year maybe where you can see some younger guys develop some leadership? The coaches aren't out there. It's kind of all on you guys to sort of self-discipline, I guess was the word Will used.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll have guys that you'll have guys speak up there because usually sometimes you'll have a tendency to defer to the coaches, but the coach is not out there and you see somebody not doing right, you're gonna see people step up, people you didn't expect to step up. So it's always a welcome thing for guys to step up and become that leader because that's gonna carry over in the fall camp, and even when the coaches do return and exert their authority, that player will be able to tell this guy this and this because he's done it before.
And Mike, the quarterback competition, you'll snap to one of these guys, and people use the name Kyle Allen and Kyler Murray a lot. I think they're forgetting that there's a third one, and Jake Ubenak is here from Blinn College. But I kind of asked you guys to give us a preview of the guard competition that'll go on in August camp when you get started. But what's your take on the quarterbacks that will battle it out in preseason camp?
Yeah, so so far I've only been able to see Kyle and Kyler, and we've seen what Kyle can do, and I'm really impressed with the work they put in this offseason. Talking about 7-on-7, they've come out every day and they've worked really hard, and they've really worked with the wide receivers on the routes and stuff like that. They both look really good. You got to see Kyler and what kind of arm strength that he really does have. He's a really good, obviously with what he did in high school. He's a really good quarterback. Just being able to go see it though. We got a lot of depth at quarterback, a lot of skill, so I'm excited. There's nothing to worry about at the quarterback position.
Certainly. We've got more with Mike Matthews and Germain Ifedi when we come back on Studio 12 from Kyle Field. It's on the other side of the break on Sports Radio 1150 and 102.7 FM, The Zone.
Fans, your Aggies head to Houston for the Advocare Texas kickoff September the 5th. It's the season opener, national television, 6 p.m. You can get tickets right now, 12thman.com/tickets. Matt and Will with you here. We'll be in Houston for that game, so will these two guys, except their jobs are going to be just a little bit more important, Will.
Yeah.
They're going to be out there pushing it around. You get to play in an NFL stadium. We're talking with Germain Ifedi, Mike Matthews. Kind of old hat for y'all playing at Texas A&M. You do get to play in some big stadiums, but it's still got to be pretty cool when you can walk into an NFL locker and walk out on a field that you watch on Sundays.
Yeah, absolutely. That we've had the opportunity to play in Jerry World, which is very exciting against Arkansas and OU. But there's nothing like it. That's where we want to be. It's exciting to be able to go there and just kind of growing up, we're both from Houston. That's our hometown. We've both gone to a lot of games in that stadium. It's just going to be something special to be able to walk in there and not being on the seats, but actually playing on the field.
You guys catch some Astros fever? I know you're a big baseball guy, aren't you?
Oh, huge! I stayed up till they play all these West Coast games.
Yeah.
To the American League. So I was up till about 1 o'clock last night. I couldn't even sleep after the game, following them, because they needed a road win. So yeah, I didn't get to an Astros game. I didn't be able to get to one this season. They raised the prices once they got good.
And I think they moved like a Taylor Swift concert the other day just because the playoffs may be coming down there. But Jermaine, with you, I was talking guards a moment ago, but tackles. There's also Avery Genesee who can play the tackle position. Do you feel you guys are interchangeable, and could both of you play either side? And do you have a preference which side you play?
No, with the tackle thing, I just wherever I'm more comfortable and Avery's more comfortable at the same time. I don't want him over here if he's not comfortable with me over here just to say I play left tackle or just to say I play right tackle. Wherever each of us are comfortable, we're both good players, versatile. We both played both sides. Throughout our time here, so. He works hard at what he does, and so do I. So, we've been able to gain that versatility throughout time. So, wherever we do end up, if something were to happen, we could just shift that over there and shift somebody in. So we've bought into being versatile players.
That brings up a great point, Will, as far as depth is concerned, because that's one thing that you guys have been building year after year after year. And Mike, I guess I'll ask you with depth. You obviously want to be out there as much as you can to help your team, but depth can make you a better player, can it, to give you that time to take a break if you need to? Knowing you have guys behind you that can step up and do what they need to do?
Yeah, absolutely, especially when it comes to our practice situation. We've got certain drills where we've been lacking in the center depth area, and, I'll have to go extra reps just because we don't have another center. We don't have a third or fourth string center. And, I'd say this is by far the most depth we've ever had since I've been to Texas A&M. We've already talked about it, like those reps that I've had been to make up for, and I won't be doing those. So, it's just an opportunity for me just to, kind of get a rest and not have to do the overload. So, I mean, I'm excited about that. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, there'll be 5 that line up to start the Arizona State game.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have 4 or 5 more on the bench that could probably start at so many other places at the time. And so it certainly is true with what you say about depth. But
I think we saw that against West Virginia. I mean,
Yeah.
I truly do. I think you guys just wore them down over
Yeah.
the course of the game.
And you had Trey Carson that ran for over 100. Trey Williams ran for about 100 in that game. You nearly had 2 backs over 100 yards. But is that a huge talk within the offensive line room, the run game this year? Because I know with Dave Christensen in town, he also has that title on his labeled on him. He's not just the offensive line coach, it is / run game coordinator. And I know you guys mentioned they might be a little more hand in the dirt, I guess, with the guards. I think the tackles will still probably stand up, won't they, G.I.?
Yeah, tackles still, have the same stance, but he's made some small but important changes, to the run game. We've always believed that we could be an effective running offensive line, and we went out versus West Virginia with down a couple starters, and we said we're going to prove that we can run the ball and run it effectively. So that I feel like that game was just a launching pad to the spring where we really commit to saying we can run the ball, but we can also throw the ball around at the same time.
And Mike, is it extra cold when you have to sit that one out in Memphis?
Oh man, I made the mistake of wearing our jumpsuit that looked cool, but it was like a T-shirt. It was so thin. It wasn't even a jacket. It wasn't even a jacket.
It was a cold game.
They were saying 40 degrees, 35 with the wind chill all day, and I said, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt 30 degrees, 25 with the wind chill to me. It was a tough day. But just to almost look at things on the other side of the ball, I wanted to get the take of both of you on people you go against right here at A&M. And obviously, G.I., if you're a tackle, Myles Garrett is a defensive end on the other side of the ball. I know you don't want to give anything away to an opponent. They're not listening, by the way. Don't worry about that. How do you block Myles Garrett? I mean, and how difficult is it?
First of all, you got to be really good to block him because he's really good. So to be honest, some guys just can't block him. Some guys can't block him. I feel like I've had the most success on him.
You tell him about that?
I would tell people about that. He's a good player. He's gonna win some. If you're lucky, you can win some, but you're gonna win some and lose some, and you gotta, because he's that talented. I mean, but you can't, you gotta come back the next snap and try to beat him. He's a great player. That's the thing with great players. You can do everything right and still lose.
Yeah. And Mike, those guys on the inside defensively, I mean, it seems like the defensive tackles on the other side of the ball for A&M, it's kind of like the guards. There's a lot to choose from, and a lot of guys will play. Is there somebody who catches your eye as a difficult guy to block on as far as the interior line on defense?
Yeah, I mean, we got Alonzo Williams. He's a big guy for us. He's been a leader on this team for a long time. He's coming up on his senior year, and he's a really good player out there. Obviously, we've got guys like Dalen Mack who haven't had the opportunity yet to go against, but obviously, he's probably going to come in and be able to definitely do something with the talent that he has. But yeah, guys like Alonzo or Julian Obioha, both older guys on our team that have like a hard work ethic. Those guys both definitely will push you around and really push you on the field and make you become a better player.
Mike Matthews, Germain Ifedi with us here on the Friday edition of Studio 12. We saw yesterday on social media, Terry Price, defensive line coach, had his guys over for a D-line cookout. Who can eat more barbecue, offensive line or defensive line? What do you think, G.I.?
Probably O-line.
We got some big. These freshmen will take it over. Honestly,
yeah,
they're some of the
these
biggest guys. These guys eat like no other. Like,
we've never had freshmen like this that eat like this. Me, Mike, and Joe, like the older guys, we can kind of watch our figures. The younger guys, they just go for it.
Yeah, they dive in. There's no holding back.
Was it the Cotton Bowl that did the Laurie's Beef Bowl?
Yeah.
Is that where you guys had the?
Who, Jarvis went up first? Is that
I don't know. I didn't eat much. I didn't eat much that bowl. I was more interested in the snack room there. I just wanted the snacks. I didn't like the.
Well, that's what you guys said when you arrived. It's crazy. I mean, I think both of you just weighed in before you got here. And Jermaine, you were at 335, and this guy talks about he skips meals sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not fair, is what it is. Because to him, he probably says it's not fair, but for me, I say it's not fair. I go in the nutrition center. I eat like an hour and 30-minute lunch, and G.I. walks in for 10 minutes and has a quick snack, and he's 335 pounds. I'm
Yeah.
290 pounds.
I mean,
barely.
I'll eat a bowl of fruit, you know, and some eggs, and I'll probably be plus 5 pounds.
Yeah,
a
he
day.
gets.
Mike-
It doesn't even add up. It's
Mike will
not.
have 3 meals before weighing in.
The
and
math
lose.
isn't working for
Yeah,
you.
it
Yeah.
doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I never got it.
So you got
favorite-
one guy eating and trying to keep the pounds on. One guy doesn't even eat. And he just stays there.
It stays there.
You're right. I
metabolism.
agree with you. It's not fair,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
It's not,
It's not
fair.
fair for me either.
Favorite
Yeah.
meal, GI? What's your favorite thing to eat?
Oh my God! You know, I gotta go with the good old wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. You know, wings and fries and
Nothing wrong with that.
berry lemonade. And it's just,
How many you put down in normal? Well, you probably not much,
Okay.
apparently, huh?
Yeah.
A couple of eggs.
Oh,
No,
I
hey,
mean-
get
I
him
mean,
on the. If you get him on the junk food, he will.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's where
If you get me in the mode, I could go. But
Yeah.
I could go 14 wings, 16 wings. But I stay away from that. It's like has to be
Once every.
Yeah.
once every.
The
blue
reason he
moon.
doesn't eat that much is because he's got to watch his weight for the weigh, and that's the only reason he doesn't eat that much.
You just can't let Coach Jackson find out about
Yeah.
it. What about you, Mike? What's your go-to meal? What's your
Oh,
favorite
man.
thing?
I'm a big fan of pizza. Whether it be from Gummies or what else we got? Hungry Howie's. Those are both really good
Pizza
places
Hut.
that I like to grub at.
Yeah.
I say this show moved to 1 o'clock post lunch, man. We used to go noon to 1, just
Mhm.
hungry. You
Yeah.
know, we couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
But real quick, GI, before you go, we're gonna have some stuff coming out on you soon in 12th Man Magazine this month. We'll also our TV show, The Pulse, cranks up just before the Arizona State game, and we'll feature you on that too because you had a busy spring and summer. We don't want to reveal too much, but just real quick before you go, you're a construction science major.
Yes, sir.
And your internship this spring and summer dealt right there hands-on with this stadium and the redeveloped Kyle Field.
Yeah, definitely in the spring. As our curriculum stipulates, we have to have an internship, semester-long internship. So I did my internship in the spring. You know, during spring ball, I just got to get a lot of experience in construction industry, working with Manhattan Construction on the Kyle Field redevelopment, and it was a great experience for me. And got to get to work with all those people. I just saw a few of them walk through, actually, funny enough. But getting to work with those people on the stadium and, building those relationships in the industry, just trying to do something outside of football. It was a really great experience. And, I wish I could have done it longer, but, duty called, so I had to get back to schoolwork and all that again.
And real quick, Mike, before you go, just playing in this new redeveloped stadium. It's kind of opening September 12th, and you guys play Ball State. It's a new era of Kyle Field.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't wait. We come down to this room right here, and every time I get the opportunity, I go peek out on the field and go check it out. It's gonna be something. It's last year was great, but this year's gonna be even something special. With it all closed in and everything, and all the fans out there yelling. I mean, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Well, Sunday is report day. First practice is Monday. Best of luck with all of it. We'll see you out there on the practice field. We'll see you in Houston and back here September 12th against Ball State. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.